And all right, there's the trolley. We're not going to do the trolley. We're going to go ahead and walk the floor from beginning to end. And oh my God, look at the buzz and look at the distance. I heard something like 1.5 miles, something like that. Anyway, as we move along here, we'll look at I'm sure we'll be accosted. I was accosted last year when I did this. People say, "What's that thing on your head?" Yes, I look kind of odd. If someone comes up to me looking at me very funny, I'm going to just turn this around and show them what's going on. Anyway, CDW, I get email from them all the time. VMware, yeah, I read about their Cloud for Healthcare platform. And there's the meaningful use experience. And we'll continue on around here. Okay, Fujifilm. And we're to aisle 500. I think it goes to like 87, 80, 800. Orchestrate healthcare. That sounds interesting. I might come back. Orchestrate engine kind of rings a bell. Radiance. Radiance is one of my PowHit profiles on my new website, ehrworkflow.com. PowHit stands for People and Organizations Improving Workflow with Health Information Technology. So, okay, alert. Lexmark, Percepta Software. They bought a business process management company in the Netherlands called Palace Athena, which owns a really neat process mining application that I've used in the past. And I think I tweeted about them last year. Did a short 1-minute interview with them. And Intel, I listed them as a PowHit profile because they have a wonderful white paper on their vision of collaborative workflows. So, there's Perceptive. I'll have to come back and visit them. I know their head of BPM research. He's in the Netherlands. In fact, I'm tweeting links to an interview I did with him about in 10 parts, all about the relevance of business process management to healthcare. Okay, Endosoft. Endosoft is one of the PowHit profiles. Basically because they pay so much attention to having different workflows for different specialties, which is a very key way to make the EHRs appealing to the specialists. Microsoft, Paradigm. Yes, okay, this is all very fun. You can kind of get the buzz. This is the second day that the exhibit is open. It's like, 3 or 5 football fields. I think there's about 1,300 exhibitors. I looked at the websites of all 1,300 exhibitors, and I used advanced Google search to find what they had to say about workflow, either in their marketing materials or sometimes in their documentation. You'd pull up descriptions of how to edit process definitions to be consumed by the workflow engines. Welsh Allen over there. I've used Welsh Allen products in the past, integrated as devices into electronic health records. All kinds of interesting workflow kinds of interesting issues there. HP and IBM. Of course, IBM has enormous presence in both healthcare and in the process technology BPM side. I'd love to see more interaction. In fact, there was a wonderful presentation yesterday on care process management, which is basically business process management applied in a hospital context at Ottawa Hospital. I'm going to be writing a blog post about that post-conference. Northern Grumman. Hey, another PowHit profile. That's, by the way, that's my own hashtag, which is POWHIT. Hashtag POWHIT. For people and organizations improving workflow with health information technology. They've got some great graphical workflow editors that caught my eye. So they're one of the PowHit profiles on my new website, ehrworkflow.com. Philips, my gosh, they really are lined up here on the central aisle. By the way, when you look at the map, the map, this aisle is called the mandatory aisle. I think it's the mandatory wide aisle is what it's labeled. So I wonder if anybody ever, in fact, actually earlier I said, where's the mandatory wide aisle? And they told me where it was. So anyway, Phillips, natural language processing and workflow have a very interesting relationship. And in one of Phillips's white papers, they talk about how you can have very, very good speech recognition, but it's not worth a hill of beans unless you also have great workflow, because it has to be integrated into the workflow. So, for example, they compared 20 clicks to use speech recognition without decent workflow technology deployed versus a couple of clicks. I'll probably be coming back to that. Okay, so Sprint, Cisco, T-Systems, emergency department, very interesting workflow, productivity, kind of emphasis on visibility. That is knowing the state, patient state, task state, which is kind of as part of the business process management workflow technology bailiwick, although they don't give it that terminology. Okay, and look, we're already down to the 2200s, and 3M again. Now, EHRworkflow.com, EHRworkflow is my Twitter tag. 3M, natural language processing. So, well, there is this really, really interesting connection between natural language processing and workflow, which is sort of all over my blog, and I tweet about. For one thing, sequences of words or sequences of sentences resemble sequences of tasks. That is, in the underlying way in which you represent it in the computer. They're called state transition networks. But also, in order to incorporate the workflow into the clinician's user interface, you have to have special workflow sensitive, aware technology. And then also on the back end, they tend to have sophisticated workflow technology, because if it's you got to be able to have layers of quality assurance and then to escalate to someone, perhaps a post editor once in a while, but also you can find things in that text that are worthy of triggering events, and so that's part of complex event processing. Eventing systems are becoming much more popular in healthcare. TIBCO is probably the best known. There's Siemens. Siemens, of course, is one of the earliest users of workflow technology. The Sorian system is based on a classic workflow management system platform that was then adapted to the healthcare context. So it's got process definitions executed by workflow engines, graphical editors, analytics, and so forth. I've got some information on my blog, and I tweet about that. And Siemens Health IT is one of the POW-HIT profiles. Okay, so we're moving along here. SureScripts, I was involved in an integration effort with SureScripts, and that the technical lead from SureScripts said that we had the best workflow for interfacing with their system that they had seen. I think we could, a refill was like, the refill could be about 3 clicks. Versus 25, 26. I've got documentation out there. They can take that as much as that. API healthcare. That's interesting. API to me stands for Application Programming Interface. I have to come back and parse that out and see how they've used that. Okay. Hill-Rom. An interesting, not workflow technology per se, but the environment and the objects in the environment, the characteristics of those objects, all are relevant to workflow. They're not actually one of the POW-HIT profiles, but one in a very general, inclusive, and expansive notion of improving workflow in healthcare. It doesn't have to be IT. A well-designed, ergonomically designed cart can be just the thing. Epic, Wisconsin. I'm sort of almost from Wisconsin, and I really like the design of their booth, all the stonework and so forth. In previous years, they had kind of a fence made out of stone, and I don't see that here. It's kind of interesting that they've opened it up, so to speak. I wonder if that's a metaphor. Okay, so. And Oh, there's a nuance down there. I hope I'm not shaking my head too much. By the way, this is my new HatCam, 3rd generation HatCam. It actually runs on Wi-Fi instead of Bluetooth, which normally is good, except that there's so much Wi-Fi going on in this conference center right now, it can cause an occasional glitch. And look, we are to aisle 3800. Okay, we're moving along here. So, of course, I'm looking at the signs. Someone else, you guys watching the video here, can tell whether people are staring at me, because I do have a camera on my head. And so there's nuance. I did 2 interviews, one with Dr. Nick Van Hayden, the Chief Medical Informatics Officer, the other with Jonathan Dreyer on their workflow and natural language processing technology. I think people kind of view them as a natural language processing company, but in fact, they have considerable workflow technology chops, which I write about. Okay, so we're down to Greenway. Previous life, competed with them. And let's see, Quadramed, Varian, Zinx Health, First Data Bank. Dealt with First Data Bank drug databases, integrating those into an EHR. Okay, McKesson, and okay, Accenture. Now, Accenture they've got some, their radiology information systems kind of have workflow management system kind of stamped all over it and they talk about work lists, unified work lists, workload balancing, and workflow management relative to image management. So they're one of my PowHit profiles, which you can find, by the way, at ehrworkflow.com. Oh, let's see how we're doing here. So we are not quite halfway. Okay, so Relay Health, Oracle. Now, some of the larger companies here, like Oracle, you can think of them, you think of databases. Of course, they have a lot of different technologies. I've seen some wonderful presentations from Oracle about business process management. It's going to be interesting to see when sort of the non-healthcare business process management horizontal division gets pulled in to deal with some of the workflow issues as the sort of workflow data base initiatives encounter those workflow issues. So, okay, we are going to stick on the aisle here. I'm sure we're missing some people off on the sides here. I think I looked at the map. I think there's about 20 or 30 of the PowHit profiles are actually visible here from the mandatory center aisle. So, okay, HIMSS Analytics, very big. By the way, in the exhibitor categories, the 2 largest categories were meaningful use. There were over 100 exhibitors here that had self-selected and said, yes, we are a player in the meaningful use category, and over 100 in the HIE, Health Information Exchange category. Those were the 2 largest. I'm not sure if any others were even above 100. Those were like 120 exhibitors. Okay, Kronos. Lots of interesting relationships between workforce management and workflow management, besides the fact that they share so many letters, because steps in a workflow consume resources, and in healthcare the most expensive resources are the people. So 60-70% at least of the cost of a patient encounter from beginning to end, or in either a hospital or a physician's office, is really costs of highly paid, expensive folks, which is one of the values. There's FormFast, need to be added to as a PowHit profile. FormFast has got a workflow engine, forms that users can create. So the general idea is you don't have to go back to a programmer, a C# programmer, or a Java programmer to create a form and to edit it. It's FormFast. Their tagline is automating hospital workflows. So that's a fantastic tagline. Okay, Space Labs, Hospira, trolley stop, I don't want that. Motion, and Citrix, Samsung. Of course, I have a Samsung Galaxy Nexus, which I love, and T-Mobile is also my telco, and been with them for 11 years. So, okay. Oh, there's a baseball. Okay, Class. I've interacted with Class before. Great people. Valuable service. Interesting. It'd be interesting to know. Take a look at their survey instruments and so forth. See how they deal with workflow. I've actually written on my blog. There is a survey of EHR workflow management systems features and functions, which I've published under Creative Commons. I occasionally get interaction from folks interested in doing something with that. And it has to do with things like role-based workflows, and is there a workflow engine, is it proprietary, is it a third party, please show an example of a graphical edit. Can workflows be escalated if they take too long? So, Vocera, Prima. Okay, Fujitsu, yeah, Fujitsu has I think it's an interstage BPM system, as well as an automated process discovery system, process mining, which has incredible, and Fujitsu is a POW hit profile. So, Clinicomp, okay, surgical information systems, okay, Lockheed Martin. M-Modal, yes. Well, M-Modal, as I was talking about earlier, the natural language processing companies have some of the most sophisticated workflow management system, BPM, business process management style, back-end technology in order to route the information to the right person, to escalate tasks to ensure quality, and to also trigger workflows. So if certain clinical conditions are in the text, but there doesn't seem to be anything happening that should be happening, then something will get fired off, someone will be notified. I believe that is the Fluency platform. By the way, I did an interview with Jürgen Frisch, their chief scientist who founded Modal, and it's on the website, gotten a lot of play. And right now during the conference, I'm tweeting out links to a second interview, which I actually did with the website. I talked to the website. I know that sounds crazy, but look for my M-Modal tweets on the hashtag HIMSS13 hashtag from ehrworkflow.com, or click or search for hashtag POWHIT, POWHIT. That POWHIT kind of reminiscent of the old Batman cartoony things that appeared on the screen when someone punched someone. Artificial medical intelligence, natural language processing, NLP, assisted coding. Again, fascinating connections between natural language processing and workflow. Okay, let's see. We are Stinger. We're to aisle 7000. Optum. Yeah. Barco. I see a lot of cloud-based stuff here. Athena Health. And on down here to the aisle 7300. Yeah. Brocade. That, of course, has a kind of a network illusion. Brocade is a kind of a stitch. Need Analytics. Innovate. That's cute. And ergonomics, yes, as having a master's in industrial engineering. Wow, look, there's the big word ergonomics, or human factors, that I studied up there in lights. Okay, oh cool, look at this. The value-based bus. Ha ha ha, that's very cool. I know someone that has two classic buses like that, a little bit bigger. Used to take kids to outings and so forth. Covacent, Caddy, CureMD, the British Medical Journal, a very respected journal. I've read many a document, article, paper in there. Okay, IMD Soft. Well, I think you're getting a feel of the buzz here. Pilotfish, health integration. Interesting, their integration engine technology has some workflow management system, workflow engine, process editing kinds of capabilities. The interface engine market and the workflow engine market are kind of merging in interesting ways. The interface engines are adding workflow technology, more user interfaces and so forth. And the workflow engines, business process management systems, often have lots of adapters so they can talk to legacy systems, and those adapters often require transportation and translation of data, which is kind of an interface engine topic. Okay, Draeger, American Hospital Association, ClickView, Analytics, reporting. Okay, yeah, ChipSoft. Yeah, ChipSoft. If you go to the ChipSoft is a Dutch company, and the Netherlands is actually a hotbed for both for business process management research and for companies, and on their website in Dutch, but you can use Google Translate to translate it. There are discussions of workflow management systems that they use to manage the clinical processes in a patient-centered way. So definitely worth taking a look at. Again, they are a PowHit profile that they're on the new website, ehrworkflow.com. Of course, my old website is chuckwebster.com. That's still the mothership. And there are all kinds of links between them. Crescendo, PowHit profile. Also, there are about 100 of them, so about 8%. Again, I looked at every single website to look at their technical and their marketing material. Sometimes a lot of these workflow engines are flying under the radar, but what you do is you'll see in the marketing material statements like "your workflow only better." So if they actually put the word workflow in their tagline, there's usually where there's smoke, there's fire. So often, if you drill down, you'll see highly customizable workflow, perhaps a proprietary, self-developed workflow engine. Although I think you're seeing increasingly third-party workflow engines embedded, incorporated. Microsoft has the workflow foundation technology. I've heard that I've talked to EHR folks that are embedded, and then of course there are the classic pure play business process management system platforms. Those tend to be used in the back office, in payment, human resources, but they're nudging, they're gradually moving into the clinical area, which is a wonderful thing because process technology, workflow technology, as it is specifically and technically meant and used in the workflow technology industry, the business process management industry, is what healthcare needs. Whereas workflow, the word, is a very, very fuzzy notion here in. So here we're turning around, and we're looking back down there. Look, is that a mile and a half? I'm not sure. I can see the end. So there's this rural metro ambulance. People are making a deal. Look, they've created little simulated hospital rooms, ICUs, and if I had to walk that again, I'd probably go with these guys. So anyway, it's been a lot of fun, and I think I'm going to sign off, and hopefully this isn't too long to post to YouTube. Bye-bye.